What's up, Bulls Nation? It's the Bloody Horns podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Let's get into it. So the NBA draft was last night. The Chicago Bulls with the 11th overall pick come away with Matas Buzelis, and Bulls Twitter is hyped. Bulls fans are loving the pick. They're all in on the kid. They're convinced he's going to be a future superstar. I'm not as high on it. I got to be honest, guys. I don't like the pick. My personal pick for the Chicago Bulls at that spot was going to be Dalton Knecht. He brings what this team needs. This team has needed shooting for a long time. I've been saying for years now that we need a three-point specialist. We need our Sam Hauser, Duncan Robinson, Joe Harris back when he was productive on the Nets. They need that style of player, a dude who's going to come in, he's going to run off screens. You know he's going to be a threat from three. He's going to stretch the defenses. He's going to knock down 3 to 4 threes a game. Going to be a high-volume three-point shooter. That's Dalton Knecht. At the very worst, he's going to be Sam Hauser, and Sam Hauser was pretty big for the Celtics this year. So Dalton Knecht, at the worst, we know he's going to have a 10-year career in the NBA. That's his floor. His ceiling is like an 18 to 20 point per game guy. He shot 40% from three last year in college on a pretty high volume, pretty high usage rate. So I was all in on the kid. I thought he was perfect for what the Chicago Bulls need, perfect for what they want to do. With Buzelis, he's just too raw to me, to be honest with you guys. I know he's young. Everybody, that's what they keep telling me. They're like, well, he's only 19. Dalton Knecht's 23. Just because you're 19 doesn't mean that we should be drafting you high. Tyrese Halliburton was older than Patrick Williams. How did that work out? Patrick Williams is exactly why I'm not high on Matas Buzelis at all with the Chicago Bulls. After the Patrick Williams experience, the last 4 years of watching him average 9 points a game, never making any major strides, he's still the same player that we drafted 4 years ago. The Chicago Bulls do not have an ability to develop these young, raw prospects. Matas Buzelis, he's raw as shit, guys. He averaged 11 points a game last year. He shot 22% from three in the G League. He didn't really show a great ability in the G League to create his own shot. Didn't show an ability to get to the free throw line. He only averaged 1 free throw attempt a game. His handle looks all right for his size, but we'll see how that translates in the NBA. He is a fluid athlete. I definitely see with his length, his athleticism, why people are high on him. I just always value the proven commodity over the what-ifs, especially when it comes to the Chicago Bulls. We have not shown an ability to develop these guys. So I'm not high on the pick. I would have liked Dalton Knecht. I would have liked Khalil Ware a lot more too. That fit more of a need for me. Buzelis, man, it's the ceiling is there for sure. Like I said, he's a fluid athlete, but how can you trust this training staff to fully develop him? He didn't look ready to produce at an NBA level in the G League last year. I don't think he's going to be ready this year. There's a good chance he spends most of the upcoming year in the G League for the Chicago Bulls with the Windy City Bulls. He's not really going to contribute right away. And I know a lot of people think that we're in tank now mode, but still, man, I want a guy who can produce. With the 11th pick, I want a guy who can produce. And adding another shooter, that was logic that I heard on Twitter too. Somebody was like, well, he's going to take DeMar DeRozan's spot, and DeMar DeRozan couldn't shoot anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. It's like if we're replacing a non-shooter with another non-shooter in 2024 when shooting is a premium in the NBA, how does that make any fucking sense? So he's got to improve from three. His free throw percentage doesn't really suggest that he's going to improve much from three. That's usually what scouts use as an indicator to see how a guy's going to improve as a three-point shooter, is they look at his free throw percentage. Because a high free throw percentage, it at least shows a shooting touch to a certain degree. So he has a very average free throw percentage. He shot 22% from three last year on 3 attempts a game. So he was getting pretty high volume. I'm just not a believer in the pick, man. I much rather would have had Dalton Knecht because I know that guy's going to be in the NBA for 10 to 15 years. I know he's going to play a role on a contender someday. He's just that guy. He's a glue guy who's going to fits a need for a lot of teams. Shooting is always going to be at a premium in the NBA. Dalton Knecht is always going to be able to shoot the ball. He shot 40% last year in college. You figure that's only going to go up in the pros. So Buzelis, man, the ceiling is there. I'm not rooting for the kid to fail by any means. He's a Chicago Bull, so I'm rooting for him through and through. I just personally don't like the pick. The video has been making the rounds of him and Cooper Flagg playing one-on-one. It looked like Coop was playing half-hearted defense. Buzelis was getting a couple buckets, but Buzelis couldn't even get his body in the way to stop him when he was trying to defend him. So I get it. Cooper Flagg is the number 1 pick next year. Supposed to be generational, but Buzelis is 2 years older than him. You'd think he would have shown a little bit more. I mean, when that video was taken, I believe Buzelis was 18, 19 years old. Cooper Flagg was 16, 17. You'd think he would have been able to stop him a little bit more, but maybe Coop's just that special. I don't really know. I'm just not high on the pick. But you guys let me know in the comments what you thought of the pick. I get it. He's a homegrown kid. A lot of Bulls fans are hyped from it. We'll see what comes from it.